Spring garden tour, March 2024. Here is my orange tree growing in a large container. I got my first oranges last year and they were really good, and I've got a couple more growing. Here's one of my avocado trees grown from seed. It's 3 years old, probably 2.5 feet tall. Here are my 4 blueberry bushes. Got some flowers, waiting for those to get pollinated so we can get some blueberries. That was probably my favorite for the kids last year. They really enjoyed coming out picking blueberries. Have some bare root strawberries in pots, getting those started. A couple of tip-layered blackberry plants. Here is my original apple tree grown from seed. I have a video on my channel about this. It's doing really well. Lots of new green growth. And it is probably about 6.5 feet tall now. Here's my largest avocado tree grown from seed. It's in a very large container. And it's about 3.5 feet tall and 3 years old, 4 years old, somewhere through there. I had some aphids last month and I had to make some insecticidal soap to get rid of a lot of them. All of them, I hope. I did get a little bit of leaf damage, but it should recover. Here are my 2 dwarf peach trees. These are both doing really well. A lot of fun to come pick out peaches off the tree. And then here is my original peach tree from one of my first videos. It is doing well. It's about 4.5 feet tall now. A lot of new growth and some new shoots. Gonna need to do some pruning later. Here's the other one from that same video. It's about 3 feet tall. Starting to get some new growth from the top. It's really leafing and spreading out. Here is my strawberry patch. I just put in some bare root strawberries. They're all starting to green up now and take off. I'll put my cattle panel bird netting back over there in a little bit. Let's see, that's it over there. I use that. Pretty easy to do. I've got a video on my channel about how to do that if you want to stop the birds from eating all your strawberries. And my favorite part of my garden is my blackberry row. There it is. All those pots that you see in containers, that's where I tip layered a lot of blackberry plants. I have about 20 or so to give away. And they're starting to flower. These ones have pinkish flowers. Once they get pollinated, and we'll start having some blackberries. My kids really enjoy coming out, and so do I. Picking blackberries. Those are all going to be blackberries once they get pollinated. Need to go ahead and separate some of those containers. A lot of sucker plants that have come up, so usually what I do is I dig these up, put them in pots. There's another one back there. Actually, this one tip layered itself. You can see the branch. It came down over and touched the ground, and it rooted. So I can dig that one up and give that one away. Got several more like that. Here's another one. Do that one a couple more weeks. I'll dig that one up and put it in a pot. And here's one as well. This vine came over, came down to the ground, touched the ground, and rooted itself. And so now I have another plant to dig up and give away. Here's where I normally do vertical growing watermelon, but I'm not doing that this year. I'm going to do a type of honeydew melon. There they are right there. They're just sprouted. I got a whole row. Got 3 rows by 5. And I've got my cattle panel trellis that I use to trellis them up. Here is my grapevine. This has done really well and grown really fast. I think the second year I already started getting grapes. And now every year they produce grapes. Let's see if they're starting any. Here we go. See a little bit baby teeny grape cluster right there. I'm not sure how you can see that right there. That's going to get a lot larger, and that'll be a little bundle of grapes. Here are several tip-layered blackberry plants, others that I dug up. Give those away. I've got too many of them now. On this side I'm doing cantaloupe. They sprouted out. These were all planted by seed. You can see the seeds still stuck on there. Need to pull that off. I'll mess with that one a little bit later. So same thing, I'll use my cattle panel trellis that I made. Really easy to do. I have a video on my channel if you want to use a cattle panel trellis. It's very helpful. This was my raspberry row, but they just have such a hard time with the heat. And so I'm not sure how many of them survived. I know I got a few of them. Here's a raspberry plant. This is a raspberry cane, but not sure if it's gonna make it back. So I wanted to add some blackberries. I may turn this into a blackberry row, we'll see. Or I need to experiment with using a shade cloth. I can just put it right here on my trellis. Put the shade cloth down, see if that helps it during the summers. It just gets so hot and those raspberries don't do well. Here are my 2 apple trees. These are both 4 years old. And I'm getting my first flowers this year. So hopefully these will get pollinated and I'll have apples on my apple tree. Took 4 years, but that's okay. It's a good size apple tree. I'm using a trellis wire to use this espalier technique so that way they grow sideways along the fence. You can kind of see how the branches are all pointing out to the sides. They're all attached to the wire. And I'm super excited that we may get our first apples this year. So that one is a Fuji apple tree, and this is a Gala apple tree. The Gala one always seems to be a few weeks behind. As you can see, it looks mostly bare, but it's now starting to put out the new buds for the season. And what else? I have some raised garden beds over here. PVC piping and bird netting to keep the birds out because they will just come and take the strawberries. I got several strawberry plants in there. Some are from last year and some are new bare root plants like this one there. This one is from last year. Starting to make some strawberries. Over here I'm trying some peppers. Some bell peppers, got green, orange, red, and yellow. We'll see how those do. Probably noticing all the shredded paper. I use that from the compost. I put all kinds of things in the compost, including shredded paper, and so I mix this up, and there we go. All right, so that is it for my spring garden tour. Let me know what you're growing in your garden. Leave me a comment, and hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.